Hello and welcome to the ice cream research documentary. In this very short, brief documentary, I'm going to talk to you about the worldwide famous ice cream study research. So, we did a research about people's favorite ice cream, and I'm going to talk to you about it. So, first of all, what happened was we chose our field of study, which was social sciences, because this affects the society. And we came up with the question that would serve as the basis for our whole research, which is people's favorite ice cream flavor. And we also found another couple of questions that could also they continue to describe the problem and provide more information about it, which were what is an ice cream, when do people eat ice cream, where can people buy ice cream, how often do people eat ice cream, which flavor do people prefer, and most importantly, why do people eat ice cream. So, uh, first of all, we defined our objective of the research project, which was analyze the consumption of ice cream and what makes people buy ice cream. We wanted to know what was the cause behind it. Was it just because they like it? Was it because it brought good memories? Was it because maybe it's cold and the day was hot? Or for some reason, maybe it's cold and ice cream is even colder? I don't know. These kind of questions that we were wondering and we'd like to have some answers about. Then we decided that our approach that we would take on this research would be mixed, since we will make interviews and collect data based on people's experiences with ice cream, trying to prove our hypothesis. Data we're gathering is quantitative, whereas the way we're gathering it is qualitative, since it's all subjective to what people think about ice cream. We can justify our research by saying that knowing people's favorite ice cream flavor will tell us a lot about how they think. This is just as simple as, everyone has different preferences, and even if we may not think too much about them, the truth is that if someone picks red over blue, for example, the red color over the blue color, uh, there's a reason behind it. And yes, it can be something as simple as, well, they like red better than blue. But it can also mean something like, for example, red is often associated with stronger emotions, with, passion, love, rage. Whereas blue is often associated with more calmer emotions such as sadness, loneliness, nostalgia. So there's a correlation to the color and feelings, and therefore there may also be a correlation between the reason people chose it and the way that these persons behave. They pick red, they're probably a brave person. They pick blue, they might be a bit more fearsome. Yeah, that kind of thing. Uh, we also think that this research is viable since it requires very little amount of resource, which we have. Yeah, basically all we need to do is ask questions to people about their favorite ice cream flavor. So it was quite viable. So, first of all, what is ice cream? So we came to the conclusion that ice cream is just a mixture of milk, sugar, cream, and some other ingredients, and it gives a flavor to the ice cream. Then this is frozen into a soft and creamy delight by many techniques. There's many types of ice cream. There can be ice cream that's based on water. It's based on milk. There's also like yogurt ice cream. There's many different types. But even if there are many types, it's still one of the most popular desserts around the world. People of age consume it, from little kids to older people. A lot of people we found eat ice cream during the afternoon, followed by the evening. Although actually, quite interestingly, we found that some studies say that it's actually better to eat ice cream as breakfast. Now, not a lot of people eat ice cream as breakfast, but there are many dishes, such as, for example, waffles, which, especially recently, have gained popularity in eating it accompanied by ice cream during breakfast, which is good because it's better to eat it in breakfast. Now, just going back to why we believe this is important, well, we believe knowing what people's favorite ice cream is can tell us a lot about what they're like and how they think, which can be useful in regards to how people would act, think, and behave in certain situations, as well as how their opinions might vary on different subjects. This goes again to what I was saying about the colors, and now we're actually talking about ice cream. So, say a person prefers a, let's call it, more extravagant flavor, such as, I don't know, bubblegum ice cream, right? That's a extravagant flavor. Not everyone orders bubblegum ice cream because, well, it's bubblegum ice cream. However, some people do. Now, I said not everyone will order bubble ice creams. Most people will probably rotate towards something like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, the basic flavors. Because, well, they're safer. You know what you're going in for. You know you're going to like it. It's the most popular flavor for a reason. But some people who are, let's say, a little bit braver will go towards bubblegum ice cream. And maybe it's uncommon and maybe others think it's weird, but hey, they like it. And they took the chance to try it out and they liked it. That's whether we like it or not. It may seem like a little, something very little, trying a different ice cream flavor, but it's still courageous since you were going in for something that you didn't know how it was going to turn out, and it turned out great. So that's already something that we know that person is willing to do, take risks. Whereas someone who wouldn't order the bubblegum ice cream flavor and instead go for something more normal like vanilla, we know they wouldn't be as likely to take a risk in any situation. Now, of course, this is a very vague generalization, but it's still an interpretation that we can be certain to take. Because, well, having some form of knowledge regarding the general populace can be incredibly beneficial. Its information that can be used for a variety of purposes, such as medical studies, social studies, advertising, urban planning, etc. When you know someone, you know what to cater to. You know how to best apply the knowledge obtained from that someone. Learn about someone might sound difficult given how complex a person can be, and learn about an entire group of people might be even tougher. But overall, learn about people is easier than one might think. Again, look at we were able to learn because of the ice cream flavor that someone chose. They're a little bit braver, more willing to take risk. They're probably also maybe even a little more impulsive, right? They are just throw themselves out there. They don't even think about the consequences, or they don't reflect on them as much as they should. Meanwhile, people who order vanilla ice cream or a normal ice cream flavor rather than the bubblegum ice cream flavor, they probably maybe even ponder too much on the consequences of their actions. Maybe they could use to think less and act more. That's the kind of stuff we can gather from this experiment. Well, this research, better say. Also, finding our favorite ice cream flavor, even if it's uncommon, like bubblegum ice cream flavor, is also someone else's bubblegum ice cream flavor, that makes us feel connected to this other group of people who are, well, like us. Now we have a group of people who are different to the rest of the general populace. And, we may not all be the same. Maybe I like my ice cream flavor, my bubblegum ice cream flavor on a normal cookie cone, while my friend here likes it on a waffle cone. So that's a difference right there. Maybe I went for the cookie cone because I didn't dare risk trying out the waffle one, but maybe it's better, or maybe it's not. Then again, this is all subjective, so it doesn't really matter. The point is that he went for it and I didn't. So that says even more about us, even when we're both alike in that we like to be more outgoing, adventurous, brave. We still don't take the same kinds of risks, and the same goes for people who chose the other option, the less popular, or better say, less uncommon ice cream flavor, like vanilla and chocolate. But going back to why they picked this flavor, so basically it goes back to what I was saying about color. Someone who picked bubblegum ice cream flavor, maybe they picked it just because they were feeling adventurous, but maybe there's something more behind it, right? Maybe it's always been their favorite flavor since their parents took them to eat ice cream when they were 7 years old, and that was a meaningful experience because that was the first time that they ate bubblegum ice cream flavor, so now it's their favorite kind. Now their favorite ice cream flavor actually has a meaningful, deep emotional connection to their past experiences. And this tells us even more about a person. It means they have a great relationship with their parents. They miss the time that they had with them before, and that ice cream flavor isn't just an ice cream flavor, it's something more. So this can help, this kind of analysis can help us even more to learn about people. Now now to the now on to the actual study itself. So we decided to take on a non-experimental and quantitative research design. Our sample were consistent of our class partners, so all our classmates, all who were ages between 17 and 19, and they were all in our classroom, so all of them were in our same school, which is Tech Millennium. The way we carried out our research was through interviews and questionnaires. Now, the title of our research was Favorite Ice Cream Flavor, and basically we will, just again to specify what we wanted to do, an abstract, if you will, we wanted to investigate the demographics between ice creams and the popularity of each flavor. A survey is applied and results are obtained, as well as investigations with different ice cream companies generate a complete investigation of ice cream flavors and its relationship with people that can complete physiological, financial, or anthropological studies. Right. So we designed a survey consisting of 5 questions that were aimed at learning more about people's choice regarding ice cream. The 5 questions were as follows. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Do you put any extra ingredients? How often do you buy ice cream? Which ice cream size do you buy? Which is your favorite ice cream brand? Now, to carry it out, we made the survey and then we applied it to 10 randomly selected students, again from our classroom, all within the age range of 17 to 18 years old. As for results, we found that most people's favorite ice cream flavor is cookie, as well as their most favorite type and place to buy ice cream being milk/cream and Dairy Queen, respectively. We noticed a correlation between this person's lifestyles and the choice of ice cream flavor. We found out that many people like similar flavors, which we kind of expected due to their overall popularity. And the most chosen topping was chocolate. There was also an important difference between types because 2 out of the 3 of them got a high score, which doubled the last one in both cases, and the most relevant difference was the frequency. The data reveals a lot in terms of what people like and what they don't like. Let's start for the favorite ice cream flavor. Most people like the cookies flavor, which I can understand because it's also my favorite. In the texture of milk or cream, with nieve de garrafa in a close second. The other flavors have a divided public opinion, and surprisingly, the flavor vanilla is far from being a contender. Dairy Queen is by far the most liked place to consume ice cream, taking most of the votes. This being understandable because it has the favorite flavor in the favorite consistency. So there was a correlation right there. The place that is most liked by people also has the most liked consistency, milk/cream, and the most favorite flavor, cookie. It marks all the boxes. It makes it easier to be the most popular option, regardless of whether people have as easy access to it or not. So overall, that was our study, and those were the results. Now let's talk about what other possible results outside of the study this could have. Basically, what other studies could come from this study? Well, we concluded that this study helped us learn more about people and their preferences, but also how deep those preferences go in regarding to how much they affect their behavior and their overall preferences over any other situation in life. So, we think that one of the research ideas that can be explored further, thanks to this research, is the topic of what can be determined about people by their favorite foods. So this is something that was already explored in this study. However, it can be further analyzed in a more centered study about it. Because we were just talking about ice cream here, but if we were to talk about any food. Maybe what does it say when someone's favorite food is steak against another person's whose favorite food is pizza? Is there a difference? Maybe steak can be considered as more of a knowledgeful person's food, a wiser person's kind of food. Typically, maybe even, going by stereotypes, a manlier kind of food. Whereas pizza is more like related to young people, teenagers, kids, especially. So there might be a correlation there that tells us what it means when someone's favorite food is one type of food and not the other. We can also compare and contrast it against another people's preference, and we can get a deeper, more insightful meaning about it. Another thing that we think could be a good idea for a research project based on this one is how people's cultural backgrounds can affect their preferences. This is just based on overall preferences, but it comes from first the food. So, a Mexican person's favorite food is gonna be probably different from a Korean person's favorite food. So maybe we'll just go here based on stereotypes. A Mexican person's favorite food might be something like tacos, right? Now, will that change their preferences towards other things? Maybe what kind of car they like? Does being Mexican affect what kind of food you like, what kind of car you like, what kind of job you have? What are your goals in life? Is it affected? And how is it different to a Korean person? Objectives in life, what they want in life, preferences. The simpler answer is yes, of course. The different ethnic backgrounds, also, well, cultural backgrounds, also affect what they prefer in life, right? Because they were raised differently. But it's an interesting idea to explore, definitely. Another idea for a research project is, can preferences be enhanced by people's experiences? This goes back to the point I made a little while ago, a couple of minutes ago, about a preference or a taste in this case being enhanced or carrying out a more a deeper meaning, basically. So, as I say, is a person's favorite ice cream flavor vanilla because once when they were a kid they went with their parents to have ice cream and they ate vanilla, and not only did they actually like the flavor, but the flavor, let's say, quote unquote, tasted better, you know, because it was a nice experience that they had with family. Is the flavor maybe in their mind better because they get to share that nice experience with someone they love? That's what we mean by this. So maybe my favorite place to go in the world is the beach, but I don't like it especially because of the beach. Like, there's the ocean and the sand, but the real reason I like it is because I used to go a lot there with my parents, with my family, and that was a nice experience, which is why I love the beach. So this is what we mean in the with, can preference be enhanced by people's experiences? Can one experience enhance the actual preference, and not what the actual preference represents? Well, not what the actual preference is, but rather what it represents. This deeper meaning. Another idea for another study is, how likely are people to change their preferences to match others? So let's say that in this study, we had interviewed these 10 people, and 9 of them said that their favorite ice cream flavor was chocolate, and only one of them said it was vanilla. And then we share these results with that one person who liked vanilla, and we make him or her realize that they are the only one they are the only one out. They're the only one that's different. Now, how likely is this person to change their preference to maybe try to like chocolate ice cream better? Or maybe if they don't like chocolate ice cream, how likely are they to start liking it just out of social pressure to not be the odd one out, even if there's no actual pressure being involved? Just how is he affected by just knowing that he's the only one different? Because people have a natural instinct to want to fit in, So how would this affect this person? I think this is a very interesting idea to study, to make research about, because it can tell us a lot about human behavior, especially in a society, which can also, which is very much infused with more of the primal, natural behavior that people have, that is not shown much about in modern society, but it was definitely more present in the past. But it tells us that it's still there and that it's still a big part of us. And last but not least, we can just make a study to contrast this study or to disprove it, better say, which is, does people's preference in food really have any effect on any other aspect of their lives? We conclude in this research that yes, it does, but would a more insightful, longer, more query heavy research show the opposite? Would it reveal that the results that we found are highly contemporary and substantial, and that it doesn't actually have any impact on people's lives, their favorite food, their preferences in food? I think this is a really interesting study, a really interesting subject to study, because, well, pretty much to be able to prove and the results of a study, you have to not be able to disprove it, right? So this could either go along with our research or go against, and I think this is something that every research project has to go under, as a process that it has to pass. And I, for one, think it would be really interesting to see if our research carries out or not. Anyways, that was basically it for the world famous, award winning What is Your Favorite Ice Cream research. I hope you liked this short little documentary. I hope it was very insightful. And, well, what is your ice cream flavor? Tell me about it.